Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The only ranked versus ranked matchup in Week 10 can be found in College Station as Auburn takes on Texas A&M in a game that is huge for the SEC West. And we are here to break down everything you need to know for this game and share our official prediction right now. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We are so glad you could join us today. As always, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos. And of course, guys, check out everything down in the description below. Everything there is for you, the die-hard college football fan, guys. Use our promo code and link over on MyBookie to place your bets this weekend. You get a 100% sign-up bonus over there, and you get a 250% sign-up bonus for every referral you have after that. Use our link, use our promo code, go win over at MyBookie, one of the best sites in the entire country, some of the best spreads in the entire country over there. Use our expert picks over on MyBookie as well. You sign up for expert picks, you're going to come out a winner. Might as well use them somewhere good like MyBookie or BetNow or even PrizePicks. Go use PrizePicks, guys. You're not betting against the spread over there, but you're betting on stats, and we're here to share those stats, what we think is going to happen in this game. So make sure to go utilize all those links. Use our codes over there. Help us help you. Again, you want to come out a winner. Those are the places you need to go. So take advantage of that, guys. Go sign up for all of that today because I promise you're not going to regret it, and I promise you're not going to find any offers better than what we have down in the description. So let's go ahead and take a look at this game, guys. Auburn and Texas A&M. Let me set the scene for you real quick before we dive into the actual numbers, before we dive into the offense and the defense. We said this game is huge for the SEC West, and here's why. Auburn has surprised a lot of people with how well they've been playing under first-year head coach Bryan Harsin. If the Tigers, who just took down Ole Miss last week, win this game in College Station, a place where they are 4-0 since Texas A&M joined the SEC. Auburn has not lost in College Station since A&M joined the SEC. If Auburn wins this game, and of course wins out after that, it will set up a huge top 10 showdown against Alabama in the Iron Bowl in that season finale. Auburn wins that, and Auburn goes to the SEC championship. The winner of that game would ultimately go. But if Auburn wins out all the way, Auburn's going. Well, say Texas A&M wins this game, guys. Texas A&M wins this game. They're looking good. They've already beat Alabama. And then Texas A&M wins out. And then Auburn beats Alabama. Texas A&M goes to the SEC championship. So I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the Iron Bowl is going to be huge for so many different reasons, regardless of who wins this game. And of course, it would require Auburn and A&M to keep winning up until that season finale. But if they do, the Iron Bowl will determine a lot. Whether Alabama goes, whether Auburn goes, or whether Texas A&M goes to Atlanta to take on Georgia for the SEC title. So this game has major title implications across the board. We take a look at the offense, guys, and we'll start with Auburn here. We'll start with Auburn, who really, again, I think has surprised a lot of people with how well they've been playing. You know, under the last few years under Gus Malzahn, the offense was decent, but it was nowhere near where it should have been. Nowhere near where Malzahn wanted it to be or said it would be, being the brilliant offensive mind that he is. Bryan Harsin has come in and I think exceeded a lot of expectations as the Tigers are averaging 34.9 points per game and have been one of the more balanced offenses in the entire SEC. Auburn's averaging 254.9 passing yards per game, and, of course, 197.4 rushing yards per game. Nearly 200 apiece there. Bo Nix is playing great football. He's thrown for over 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. So the touchdowns aren't really there. He's not putting up, 2,000, 3,000 yards, but he's efficient. He's getting the job done. A lot of people didn't know if he would do that after 2 mediocre years under Gus Malzahn. He's definitely played a lot better under Bryan Harsin. But Auburn's a team that right now really enjoys running the football, and they like running that effectively. They're led by Tank Bigsby, who's rushed for over 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. And, of course, you've got Jaquez Hunter as well, who's rushed for 530 yards and 3 touchdowns. So 2 running backs in your backfield have each rushed for over 500 yards. And this is an Auburn team that just last week against Ole Miss put up 483 yards of offense, 276 coming through the air, 207 coming on the ground. About as balanced as you can get. Tigers are balanced. They can run the ball. They can dominate the line of scrimmage. And Bo Nix is playing at a level right now where he feels confident he can beat everybody. A road win at LSU, a road win at Arkansas, a big home win against Ole Miss. The Tigers have beat some quality opponents, and Bo Nix is a major reason why. When you look at Texas A&M's offense, first off, give credit to the Aggies. They're off a bye week, all right? So they're coming off a bye week. They're well-rested, and they deserve that bye week. They beat Alabama a few weeks ago, one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset of this season, and then ran over Missouri, ran over South Carolina. So they are racking up some wins. After back-to-back losses to Arkansas and Mississippi State, they have salvaged their season in a way and kept their season alive in a way with those 3 straight victories, of course, Alabama being the biggest. You come into this game, though, guys, and the biggest storyline still is Zach Calzada. It's Zach Calzada at quarterback for Texas A&M. Can he get the job done? He did against Alabama, right? A&M's defense came through clutch in that game, forcing a few key turnovers, but Calzada got them down the field and put them in a position to win the game with that game-winning field goal. So he is capable. But in the 2 games against Missouri and South Carolina, he threw for a combined 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Calzada has actually thrown 1 interception in every game that he has started this year. So that is 6 straight games that he's thrown an interception. Only 1, has not had a multi-interception game, but still, in a game like this against Auburn, turnovers are going to be crucial. Every possession is going to be crucial. And you can't afford to turn the ball over, because if you do, I believe that Auburn will take advantage of that. I believe Auburn will get points off of it. So he has to do a better job taking care of the football. 6 interceptions already this year, 1 in each game. But the thing is, in the last 2 games, we've seen him play against Missouri and South Carolina, obviously very much inferior opponents to Texas A&M. Calzada hasn't had to do much because the Aggies have gotten back to their roots. They've gotten back to what they want to do, and that's running the football. 283 rushing yards against Missouri, 290 rushing yards against South Carolina. And I don't care that those are 2 of the worst teams in the SEC East right now, maybe 2 of the worst teams in the SEC period. Putting up nearly 300 rushing yards on anybody is impressive. And the Aggies are doing it with Isaiah Spiller, 761 yards and 5 touchdowns, and Devin Achane, who has 608 yards and 5 touchdowns. So 2 running backs that have rushed for over 600 yards. Auburn has 2 running backs that have rushed for over 500 yards. The run game, if you're sensing the trend here, is going to be key for both teams. Obviously, I believe Bo Nix does own the quarterback edge here, but both run games are going to be key, and the run game is what both teams want to establish early and often. When you look at the defense, guys, Auburn, their run D has been pretty solid for the most part, statistically. They're allowing us 127.1 rushing yards per game. But you do a deeper dive into Auburn's rushing defense, and you can't help but get a little concerned, right? You do a deeper dive here. You look at the last few games they've had. Allowed 157 rushing yards last week to Ole Miss. Beat the Rebels by 11, 31-20. But did allow 157 rushing yards. And they allowed 232 rushing yards to Arkansas. Still won that game. Won that game by 15? But still over 200 rushing yards to Arkansas. 201 rushing yards to Georgia. Maybe you make an excuse for that because Georgia's the number 1 team in the country, but still, 201 rushing yards there. They had a couple solid games in there. They played an LSU team that doesn't really run the ball that much anyway, so they shut them down pretty easily. Take out the Akron game, take out the Alabama State game. Those count, but how much do they really count? How much stock can you put into that? And then you have the Georgia State game where they allowed 267 rushing yards. A game they nearly lost. So in 4 of the last 5 games that Auburn has played, they've allowed at least 157 rushing yards in 4 of the last 5 games. And that's a bit of a concern here. So yes, 127.1 per game on average, but that's because, for the most part, though, that Alabama State game, the LSU game, the Akron game, those really contribute to those stats. And I'm not taking away anything from Auburn's defense here, but I am saying against more quality opponents, Auburn has struggled against the run. And that's going to be a cause of concern and something that Brian Harsin and his squad have to address going up against a run-heavy and a very good A&M team that's averaging 188 rushing yards per game. I will say this, though. Auburn's defensive line is, I think, severely underrated. Auburn has been able to dominate the line of scrimmage in the majority of their games. They have 22 sacks on the year. Texas A&M has allowed 13. So the Aggies' offensive line is solid, but not nearly as good as maybe it should be. So Auburn might be able to create a little pressure, and that's going to be a key for them here. Obviously stopping the run, but force Zach Calzada to win this game through the air. And if you can get pressure on a guy who's still relatively inexperienced, pressure on him to make some bad throws, throw the ball away, or just get some sacks and force 2nd, 3rd, and longs, you're going to force Zach Calzada to throw there. And I don't have faith in him to be able to pick up those first downs and really be able to move the chains on those 2nd or 3rd and long situations. So that's going to be the key for Auburn. You look at Texas A&M. Again, their defense, very solid. A team that's allowing us 199.9 passing yards per game, so basically 200 passing yards per game. A team that's allowing 129.4 rushing yards per game. So the rushing numbers, both offensively and defensively, pretty dang similar for both the Tigers and the Aggies. Very, very similar, very even. When you look at A&M's defensively, they held Missouri and South Carolina both to under 100 rushing yards. Alabama had a little over 150 rushing yards. But really, for the most part, A&M has done a pretty good job of bottling up the run. For the most part, 129.4 rushing yards per game on the year. Another thing you want to look at for Texas A&M is turnovers. A&M has forced 11 turnovers on the year versus Auburn forcing just 7. The Tigers aren't very good at taking the ball away. And the same can be said for A&M in a way, but they do own a +4 advantage there. So turnovers, I think, are going to be key. I would put money on Zach Calzada throwing an interception, just if history is going to repeat itself. 6 straight games, I believe he's going to make it 7. That's how good this Auburn secondary is. That's how good this Auburn defense is. But A&M's going to have to find a way to create some more of their own. Force Bo Nix into an interception. Force a couple fumbles here and there. That's what they're going to have to do, guys. A&M has 24 sacks. Auburn has only allowed 9. This Auburn offensive line has been pretty much flawless for the most part this season. And Bo Nix isn't getting touched very often. So the battle in the trenches across the board is going to be so key. And I might even give that edge right now to Auburn. Battle in the trenches is going to be key. Getting a push up front to help out your running backs, but also to pressure the opposing quarterbacks. And I believe Auburn's going to have more of not a field day, but is going to have more of an advantage in pressuring Zach Calzada than maybe Texas A&M will in pressuring a veteran quarterback in Bo Nix, who again has been playing extremely well and just seems to be getting better with each week. So what is going to happen down in College Station, guys? Again, a game that is huge for the SEC West. And again, what happens this Saturday, really, it's the Iron Bowl that's going to dictate how important this game is, right? Again, if Auburn wins and wins out up until Alabama, the Iron Bowl determines who goes to Atlanta. Of course, assuming Alabama does not lose to LSU and Arkansas, which we don't think happens. That's what's going to happen if Auburn wins. If Texas A&M wins, they still need to win out. The Aggies have yet to play Ole Miss. Keep that in mind. The Aggies can beat Ole Miss. They need to win out, and then they need Auburn to beat Alabama. So A&M's road to Atlanta is a little bit more difficult than Auburn's, where Auburn just needs to win out. A&M's going to need a little help, but it can still happen. It's still entirely possible, and that's why this game is so big. So who wins, right? The only ranked versus ranked matchup on Saturday, who's going to come out as a winner and keep their SEC title hopes alive? Well, here's the thing. This is a game, like on paper, it really just looks like 2 even teams. It screams even to me. Really both ways. The rushing numbers are very similar. Defenses are very similar. Each have multiple quality wins. And my gut, you really want to lean Texas A&M's way. Go behind the 12th man. Home field advantage is key. We saw how big that was in that win against Alabama. Obviously, the home field advantage playing a huge, huge role there. But, guys, I'm going to go with Auburn. I'm going to go with Auburn in a minor upset. They might be the higher-ranked team. They might be the hotter team right now. But they are, on the spread, they're an underdog. Auburn is an underdog. And I think I'm going to go with Auburn here. Because here's my logic. If Auburn can slow down Matt Corral, and I get that was at Auburn, at Jordan-Hare Stadium, but if they can shut down Matt Corral, 19 straight games he had thrown a touchdown pass. Auburn didn't allow him to throw a touchdown pass. So if they can shut him down, they can shut down Zach Calzada. I firmly believe that. And if they shut him down, Texas A&M becomes one-dimensional. Auburn can focus solely on stopping the run, something they haven't been good at lately, but something I think they're going to be able to do on Saturday. You slow down the run, force Calzada to win the game through the air, and that's something that right now I don't think he's capable of doing. I know he did pretty well against Alabama, but can he do it again? And right now my gut is going to say no. Texas A&M's offense becomes one-dimensional. Bo Nix stays hot and leads Auburn to a victory in College Station. The Tigers improved to 5-0 in College Station since Texas A&M has joined the SEC. The Aggies somehow can't figure out how to beat the Tigers at home, but can figure out how to beat them on the road. But I've got Auburn winning this game in a close one, a nail-biter. But the Tigers come out victorious, and we could be setting ourselves up for a huge top 10 showdown in the Iron Bowl, winner take all in the SEC West in the season finale. So there you have it, guys. We're going with the Auburn Tigers. It's going to be a close one, but we're going to go with them on Saturday. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. As always, guys, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. We just mentioned Auburn. They are an underdog. Take that spread, guys. Take that spread and go apply it to MyBookie. 100% sign-up bonus, 250% sign-up bonus for every referral you have, Go to MyBookie, go to BetNow, go to PrizePicks. We're betting on Zach Calzada throwing another interception. We're banking on Auburn to eclipse at least 120 rushing yards. Go use those props. Go over to PrizePicks. Again, you get a sign-up bonus over there too. So all of those offers are there for you. And then you can take our spreads over at thegridironexpert.com, sign up for expert picks, take those and go bet on them on those sites. So make sure to utilize all of the resources we have down in the description below for you guys, because I promise you won't regret it. It'll be one of the best decisions you make all year long, and you're going to come out a winner. We can guarantee you that. So make sure to go do that. Take advantage of it. Links for everything down in the description below. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.